Welcome to the Your Money Counts podcast brought to you by Marquette Savings Bank. My name is Jenna. I will be your host for today's episode. Today we're going to talk about something that's new at Marquette and how it relates to all of the fraud that we've been talking about. Before we dive into today's topic, we're going to do our Get to Know Your Banker segment. So if you could introduce yourself and tell us what is something on your bucket list that you want to do.
Good morning, Jenna. My name's Kelly Montefiore, and I am the Chief Operating Officer at Marquette Savings Bank. And I think a bucket list thing for me, I would love to ride across the country on a motorcycle.
Oh, nice. Any particular type of motorcycle? Do you care what brand?
You gotta have a Harley,
yeah,
right?
Okay, yeah, I gotta do the Harley. So, Kelly, I understand that Marquette opened a new building in downtown Erie. Can you tell us where the building is located and the name of this building?
We're very excited to have opened a new building in downtown. The address is 930 Peach Street. We actually sit at the corner of 10th and Peach.
Okay.
And we are calling it the Innovation Learning Center, the ILC for those of us on the inside.
Yeah, the ILC. Got to have those fun nicknames for it. So why was it important for Marquette to build this new Innovation Learning Center, or ILC?
So originally, the building, the reason we purchased the land and decided to build there was because, one, we were busting at the seams at our 920 corporate office. We really needed more room and decided that the operations team would move, and we would also build a training center with it. So the initial idea was an operations and a training center. We knew when we got the property, we were making a commitment to downtown Erie. That was very important to us. We're here to stay, and we're here to stay downtown. We also knew that we would have some extra space in this large building. You know, our footprint allowed us to have a huge public space.
Oh, very cool.
And so we decided one of the issues that we had been battling, have been, like most banks battling, is penetration of our digital and online products.
Okay.
So we thought if we had a space where people could come in freely, visit, use free Wi-Fi, and ask questions in a very safe environment, maybe we could increase the penetration and have people using those products and services in a much more safe manner.
Oh, very cool. So that's a little bit about what you can do at the ILC. So is that all you can do at the ILC, or is there more? What all can you do there?
There's so much more at the ILC. We also created space that was open to the public to use for meetings, parties, events. We have 2 conference rooms that seat 12 and 10 respectively. And then we have our downstairs training area, which actually is a room that seats 110 people. Can be divided into 2 rooms for smaller groups. It has a beautiful pre-function area. And I actually think that we've put a 360 view on our website so that people could visit the ILC virtually.
Oh, very cool. So people will have to check that out. So I want to break down just a couple things that you've mentioned or that we're going to talk about. So let's start with, when I walk into this Innovation Learning Center, this ILC, what all will I see?
Well, prepared to be wowed because, first of all, it is absolutely beautiful. Our friends at Weber Murphy Fox helped us to design and create a beautiful space, very contemporary, lots of comfy seating, cafe tables and chairs. And, of course, when you walk in the door, to your immediate right is a beautiful digital advertising area that we set aside for our community partners to advertise their events. Or advertise their business. That space is available for rental. But also, we want to encourage all of our community partners, to put their name out there. It runs 24/7, so it is quite the showpiece when you come down Peach Street.
Okay, that was my next question is how long does it run? Only when the bank opens, or is it all night? So you could be going downtown Erie at night and that screen is just boom, right there.
And you can see it pretty far away. The building is beautiful at night as well, all lit up. It's really a sight to see.
Oh, awesome.
But then on our left, we have 2 interactive educational kiosks. We even have included information and games for children so that they can learn some basics about saving and debt and those things. So that's all self-serve.
Oh, very cool.
We also have a display table that we can assist people with questions specifically on their mobile apps. And I want to say, too, this isn't just for Marquette customers. This is for the public at large. So if you're having trouble with your phone because, the mobile banking app that you're using, tends to make it crash, come in and visit us. Particularly on Tuesdays, we have Tech Tuesday, where we actually have an IT person sitting at a desk, and they will help with simple issues. It's not a fix-it shop, obviously, but things like that they can help with.
Oh, very cool. So you have employees down there are they employees from Marquette that are down there?
Yes.
Oh, very cool.
So the other 4 days of the week, we have operations specialists there who are experts with online banking and mobile banking. So they can answer any questions people have. We're very pleased to have in the Innovation Learning Center, the Cakery has partnered with us and opened a cafe.
Oh, very cool.
So they're open from 8:30 to 2:30 every day. Amazing. They have cappuccino machine and espresso and all those things.
So they have all those fixins, all that.
And wonderful food.
So great. That was my question. Is there food as well as the lovely coffee? So this sounds like a very, comfortable cafe setting.
Yes.
Where you can just go in, sit, with your banking and then or not even with your banking, just go and enjoy the atmosphere.
Right.
And just sit there.
I often walk through and see people meeting, just impromptu meetings. We've been very fortunate. Our neighbors are supporting the Cakery. We have a couple people who come every day and just sit for an hour, because they like the atmosphere.
Oh, that's awesome. So you talked about this being a big innovation for downtown, and I can imagine it was a very big construction project. So can you talk a little bit about what went into constructing this building and how it came to be?
We decided early on that we wanted to include local vendors, many of whom were our own customers. That started from the construction company, the architects, and also then the furniture, pretty much everything in the building has been sourced by someone local, a local business. So that was very important to us, just to make that extra commitment to the community. The other thing is when we were building, we very deliberately made the workspaces efficient and highly eco-friendly.
Oh, very cool.
So we had that green idea in our head the whole
green
time.
thumb.
That green all the time we were talking about it. So like our lighting and our water systems and things like that are all very eco-friendly. So we're very proud of that as well.
Yeah, that sounds great. So going back to, you mentioning this is a community space and you have these conference rooms. So are these rent spaces that you can rent, or how would they go about utilizing those spaces?
Yes. So the information, again, I think is on our website and our flyers, but they would basically just call in and ask for Andrea, and she would be happy to talk with them about prices. And believe me, we're doing this as a community service. So really, we're just trying to make sure everybody's protected with our costs. But it's very inexpensive. And yes, both of the smaller conference rooms and the large training facility. And I should mention, too, that all of the training rooms are completely outfitted with whiteboards now, total video conferencing equipment, very high tech. The training room downstairs has built-in microphone systems, and it's been wonderful.
Very top-notch technology, all of that. That sounds so cool and so modern, and it sounds a really great new space for downtown Erie. So as you know, like we were talking about this at the beginning. So this episode is part of our fraud series. So we're tying this Innovation Learning Center into fraud, and you talked about it being a center for the community. So Marquette is offering classes, you said, in these training rooms, these conference areas. So are any of these sessions related to fraud?
Yes. So really, that's the most important thing that I think has come out of the ILC, is that we are offering a seminar series We publish every quarter what we are going to offer. These are free to the public, not just Marquette customers, as I said. We are really trying to do a financial literacy outreach in the community. Financial literacy is something that's been near and dear to my heart since I started in banking many years ago. And we are doing this series includes a piece on fraud. There's 5 different sessions, and we've had great success with them so far. One of the things that we're doing this quarter is we are testing Zoom capabilities as well. So we're offering the session. If you can come downtown and see our beautiful new building, we would love to have you. It's all COVID safe. We're wearing masks and doing the proper protocols. But people are still uncomfortable with coming down. That's
Absolutely.
fine. You can go to your local branch, or if you have a computer at home, we'll help you get set up on Zoom at home so that you can sit in and listen to the very important information that's happening.
Wow, that sounds great. That you can really reach anybody from downtown to in your house. That's wonderful. How often are these sessions happening?
So again, once or twice a month for each of them. And we're doing, I actually had a little note slipped to me so I would know the names because they're very, been very well thought out. But we are doing a session on identity theft. Let's Take a Fishing Trip, which talks about phishing scams. Imposter scams, that includes those romance scams.
Yes.
and all those things that people are unfortunately roped into. Gift cards and wires and checks, oh my, and phone calls you should never answer, which that has been a very popular one, particularly for our elderly customers.
Yes, and I think we've all experienced that random phone call from across the country, and we don't even know anybody from that state.
Yes.
So, do we pick up that call? Do we not? So that sounds like that would be a very good session to attend. So how do you sign up for these sessions?
You can call anytime. We'll be happy to do anything over the phone, but also through our website, and also I believe on Facebook there's a connection there to register.
Oh, great. Almost everybody has Facebook nowadays.
Yes.
So that's great.
So another very important thing about Marquette that I don't know that the public totally understands is that we are a mutual bank, which means that our depositors are technically our owners. So community outreach and dedication to the downtown is incredibly important to us because that's what our philosophy is, to be about and amongst the people that are our depositors.
So through this fraud podcast series, we've heard about all of the different types of COVID scams. And I think it really is great that Marquette is offering these free classes to help educate not just their customers, but anyone in the community. You've stressed that quite a few times, and that's awesome that you don't have to, bank with Marquette. You can just come in off the street and just educate yourself, which is so important. So before we wrap up, is there anything else about this Innovation Learning Center, the ILC, that we have left out that you would want to talk about?
I just want to sincerely invite everyone to come and see the space and experience what we have to offer, keeping in mind that it doesn't cost you anything unless you want to buy a cup of coffee. I think everybody will be pleasantly surprised. It's a happy space.
Yes,
so
happy space. All right, well, get a better understanding of local and national scams that are happening by visiting Marquette's Fraud Protection Center on the website at marquettesavings.bank. Subscribe to the Your Money Counts podcast so you get the episodes when they're released, and write us a review. The Your Money Counts podcast is brought to you by Marquette Savings Bank, an equal housing lender, member FDIC.